Back in the day, people believed that the sun went around the earth. In fact, they believed that all celestial objects orbited the earth. They called this model of the universe geocentrism. But soon some people challenged this theory. They argued, based on science and observation, that the planets in the solar system orbit the sun. This is the heliocentric model, the sun or Helios being at the center. Indeed, the heliocentric model is the basis for many advancements in astronomy. Galileo Galilei, astronomer, polymath, and generally awesome person, was amongst the first to advocate for this model. The man should have got a medal, but instead he went on trial. And as you know, they called him a liar and a heretic and imprisoned him for life. It's a depressing story for science, but Galileo wasn't the only scientist who started out as a heretic. Science can sometimes be counterintuitive. For example, if you see the sunrise in the east and the sunset in the west each day, it's easy to believe that the sun orbits the earth. It's a superstition, but it's easy to oppose counterintuitive science. Yet, only science makes us wiser, not superstition. In the corporate world, too, we are victims to some superstitions. We feel good about them, but they have no scientific basis. For example, people advocated fiercely for open-plan offices. They said these offices will destroy barriers and silos and they'll make people collaborative. We'd all be better together with more interactions and collective knowledge. But what do we know from research? Quite the opposite. Open offices reduce face-to-face conversations, they limit confidentiality, they reduce satisfaction, concentration, and performance, they increase distractions, and they make people prone to sickness. That's a damning indictment, ain't it? But I don't want to talk about open offices. I want to discuss another superstition: brainstorming. It's popular enough that people have different names for it. For example, thought shower. No, I didn't make that one up. Now, people love brainstorming, but much like geocentrism, it sucks and it has little basis in science. But before I tell you why, let's examine where brainstorming came from. The granddaddy of brainstorming was an advertising exec called Alex Osborne. He had some good ideas, to be fair. Brainstorming sessions, he said, should focus on quantity first. No idea is bad. Osborne encouraged people to go nuts with ideas. You'd defer judgment during the brainstorming session and build on each other's ideas while staying focused on the problem you were trying to solve. While this process seems intuitive and fair, the research about brainstorming isn't complimentary. It seems that we conflate the popularity of brainstorming with its productivity and its effectiveness. Also, if you look back at the process, the central thesis is that a large quantity of ideas will surely yield a bunch of high-quality ideas. Again, the research doesn't support this thesis. Brainstorming groups produce fewer and poorer ideas than people working by themselves. Now, I know some of you must be feeling like the church did when Galileo spoke about heliocentrism. The research must be wrong, but it isn't. And let me tell you why. There are 4 problems with brainstorming. Number 1 is production blocking. We imagine that in a brainstorm, everyone is contributing ideas equally. But the truth is that only one person can speak at a time. During this time, everyone else is idle. They either lose their thoughts or abandon them completely. Number 2 is conformity pressure. To explain it, let me introduce this man. Daniel Kahneman is a scholar of human behavior. He speaks of the anchoring bias, where we get influenced by the first person who speaks or the first piece of information we encounter. Thaler and Sunstein, in their landmark book Nudge, also explain that we have an unreasonable trust in confident speakers. It's what we call the halo effect. They say that people are also prone to the bandwagon effect. Even when they see the group blundering, they go along for conformity. Anchoring, halos, bandwagons, this is why meetings suck. Brainstorms are often meetings. So you see the problem. Problem number 3 with brainstorming is the Captain America phenomenon. In a group of just 2 people, conversations can be very effective. But the moment your group gets bigger, it's the Captain America type personalities that dominate the conversation. He's the captain, so he's senior. He's fought the Germans and Thanos, so he has experience. He's worthy, so people look up to him. And hey, he's Captain America, so he speaks fluently. It's natural for most people to defer to a person like him. You get my point, right? Seniority, experience, extroversion, language, all these factors impact people's participation in real-time discussions. And then there's problem number 4, social loafing. Max Ringelmann, a French professor, first studied this phenomenon over 100 years ago. Here's how it plays out. Suppose a person had to do a task by themselves. They'll usually apply full effort. But the more people you add to the same task, the less individual effort they exert. Now you could say this is normal. Many hands make light work, don't they? Well, not always. Often the presence of many hands can make you work light or work less. There are 2 reasons for this. People don't know their role in the work, and they're not sure if their contribution adds any value. This is often the case with large brainstorming groups. So those are the 4 problems with brainstorming, and many people recognize these issues. But when they hear these problems, they say, Tina, there's no alternative. But there is. And many years back, Scott Page taught us how. The key is in his advice to leverage diversity. Professor Page said that if you want to help diverse groups achieve excellent results, you need 3 things. Diverse people with relevant skills, the ability for these people to make independent judgments, and a way to aggregate these different judgments. In his recent book, Hidden Potential, Adam Grant shows us how to put Scott Page's advice into action. So first, you need relevant people to come up with ideas. Not everyone. This deals with social loafing. Individual judgment through anonymous ideas helps with production blocking and conformity pressure. And as an aggregation mechanism, Grant recommends brainwriting, not brainstorming. Why writing? Well, because writing is a great way to get over the Captain America phenomenon. Modern tools can help you level the playing field. The research bears out what I'm saying. Electronic brainstorming, which is more writing focused than speaking focused, is not just more productive, but also more satisfying than face-to-face brainstorming. Go figure. Adam Grant's description of brainwriting matches my idea of the VUCA process. Step 1, start solo and anonymously. Write your ideas in whatever detail possible. Step 2, pool the ideas with enough time for others to read and understand them. In step 3, people can critique and vote on ideas anonymously. And only in step 4 does the group get together to select and refine the most promising ideas. This iterative process reduces bias, conformity pressure, the Captain America effect, and production blocking. This approach works much better than brainstorming. The evidence is in the published research. And so, my friend, you know the 4 problems with brainstorming. You also know of the brainwriting alternative. The question for you in 2024 is, will you ideate using science or superstition?